G'day, you're out and about with Dave, and today I've got with me Matt from Mobile Way Station.
Morning.
I've blogged before that I bumped into Matt at one of the shows, and what he does is he's got a way station that's mobile, pretty much as his thing says. So g'day Matt.
How are we doing?
Good mate, good.
That's the way.
So we've met up here. Matt's brought along his camper trailer, so we've done some, we've set it up, and he's got some scales. He's got it under the wheels and under the hitch, and we're going to record those weights. And then we're going to hook up my car because we can move things around a little bit more on the bull bar and things like that, and on the back, and just set up how it might be. And we're going to see how weights, changing the weights around, can make a difference to your setup. So Matt, for yourself and other way people who are around the place, I had the vision of creating these spreadsheets so that a person can come to you and get weighed, and then you give them the good or the bad news, and they can go away and think about what they need to do to either improve or where they've got some movement. How do you see it being used if we get this up and about?
I think that's the exact way it's designed to be used. I think it's very important that you get your combination weighed correctly first up. The main reasoning for that, we all have an idea on what we think we weigh, but we're also starting off this one common reference point, which is the compliance plate stamped on the van. And unfortunately, we're seeing that's inaccurate up to about 90% of the time now. So if you thought your van was 2 tonne and it might actually now be 2.2, and you haven't put anything in there, you've lost 200 kilograms of payload before you've started. Yep. So I think that's what is very important. We make sure that your compliance plates have been validated first, and dare I say, we've now got an accurate datum edge to work from. Yes, yeah.
And that compliance battery is that little engraved plate either on the tow bar or inside the van. Tells you your tear, tells you your ATM, what the maximum weight is going to be, the group axle weights,
correct,
and things like that. So, and then as well as that, you then need to look at the impact of the ball on the rear axle of the car and the front axle of the car. You need to look at the total weight, which gives you your GCM, your gross carrying combination mass, and all those sort of things. But I talk about that on separate pages, and I'll give the links on the video. So tell us about your business. How long have you been around? And
we've been up and running for just a few months now publicly. We've been behind the scenes running now for about most of 2020, and the opportunity came about with some of the other work that I do. I'm heavily associated with some other car manufacturers and have been involved in the driver training industry for quite some time now. And I do run a specific towing course for one of the manufacturers out there. In fact, it's the only manufacturer-supported towing training experience in Australia.
So you can mention that name because I've got no affiliation.
Yeah, look, by all means. It's so I do a lot of work and have done a lot of work with Isuzu Ute Australia. Yep. For me, that relationship started. I was one of the Team D-Max stunt drivers, and that's actually been my calling card for about 12 years as a professional stunt driver. So I've lived and breathed cars basically my whole life in one way, shape or form, and I've always been involved in driver training. Yep. And to me, the mobile way station is just something that complements a little bit of everything that I'm already doing. Yeah.
That's what you believe in as well. People need to have that understanding.
Absolutely. It's not an easy topic to get right.
No.
And the thing I probably get most frustrated with is you're seeing so many people go to the four-wheel drive and caravan shows. Every Tom, Dick and Harry is being sold something, and they're claiming it's the best and greatest. And unfortunately, it's just not always the case. Yeah,
well, I took some photos of a major caravan manufacturer there the other day when I was at the sale in Brisbane, and they quite loudly pronounced the tear weight of their big mega-ass caravan, which doesn't really do a hell of a lot, you know. So anyway, let's get some scales under these wheels, and we'll have a fiddle around. So I won't go into too much of the vlog, but I'll certainly talk you through some of the results, and we'll look at the calculator and how we do it. So I'll say over to you, but I know I'm going to be helping, and we're going to be doing it together. So
let's do it.
Keep watching. So we've hooked the car up now, and we've got the scales underneath each of the wheels. And what we're going to do is we've agreed that we're going to do some tests on the rear axle increase. What that does when we hook the trailer up. We're going to look at a scenario where we're going to put 2 weights in the front of the camper there, where the jerrys would usually go. So that gives us 40 kilos in the jerrys. And we're going to move that, or at least add it, maybe the firewood to the A-frame there. We're going to put another 40 kilos on there for a good fire tonight. They're just using sandbags. Another scenario, we're going to put 60 kilograms in the back of the ute here in the tub, see what that's like, and we load it up with a couple of cartons of beer and we fill our fridge up. And then we're going to put a passenger in the front. We've put 80 kilograms on the front seat. And our last test we're going to do is to add a winch onto the bull bar by adding 2 sandbags on the bull bar. We're going to do these incrementally, build it up and have a look at the figures as we do it. So we've just spent an hour and a half, goodness me, running through a few of those tests. As I said before, we were going to look at the rear axle of the car, putting some false jerrys in the camper van, adding some firewood to the front of the A-frame, some kilos in the tub of the car, passenger, and even have a look at a bull bar weight with a winch on it or something like that. How do you reckon we went, Matt?
Well, I've always said that the numbers can't lie, can they? It's physics. They add up every single time, and as long as you're recording the numbers as you go, we've been able to prove without a doubt that the calculator works.
Yes. Okay. Great.
The calculations in the calculator are there.
Yep.
It still needs accurate numbers going into the calculator.
Correct,
That's
and well-detailed notes. I don't keep good notes sometimes. The weights aren't to the decimals or kilograms. We're in the ballpark. We're at 2, 3, 4, 5 kilograms within the ballpark. And as I've long intended, from my own experience, is developing a calculator where you can go along to a weighbridge, people like mobile weigh station, have your gear weighed, and then go away and do some sums to see what you need to do to fix any problems you got, like load over the rear axle, load over the front axle, load on the trailer, the whole lot, the whole car. I mean, Matt pointed out before that I was getting close to my GVM, around the 3 tonnes, but I've got a 3.5 GVM upgrade on my car, giving me a total of 7 for the whole lot if I hook up a 3.5 trailer. So I knew I was comfortable, but it's when I hook my camper van up that I'm on the verge.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other point to mention there too is that when we do see customers come in for one of our weighs, we're already going to create a recommendation report anyways. We'll be identifying where you're heavy, where you're imbalanced. You know, it's one thing being under those maximum thresholds, but even if we found a customer, it's a rare occasion, but even if we found a customer that was perfectly legal, we're still going to provide a detailed recommendation report on where you could move your weight to find even better or more optimal balance.
Yes.
You know, we're seeing people with these drastic changes to the layouts in the van, so away from the standard floor plan.
Moving water tanks, adding water tanks.
Moving kitchens from one side to the other, or moving a lounge somewhere where it wasn't intended for. And so that starts to not change the overall weight of these vans, but we're seeing some really, really unbalanced vans. So different from left side to the right side, up to 400 and 500 kilos difference.
Hope that's not you guys.
Yeah, fingers crossed. So the advantage is once you've been weighed, we know how much weight needs to be moved, and with the calculator, you can see what you're moving and what effect it will have. Yeah.
And then my recommendation, I'm sure it'll be yours as well, is still get that weighbridge test afterwards.
Yes.
Like, you know, do the desktop stuff, move stuff around, have a look how it works, because everyone works differently. I mean, you keep your spade in a different place to me, you keep your carton of beer in a different place to me. Everyone's different. But at least now with this calculator you can do the sums and get the validity off these guys when you get it checked and weighed again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So please don't drive down the road thinking like you've done my calculator, it's all good. Chances are it's better or whatever, but you really need to go and see the expert advice. And talking to someone like Matt, the value add that he can give you as far as knowledge and experience and where things travel, that sort of stuff. I know I've learned a few things today and the other day in my last chat. So have fun, have a fiddle with it. I'll give you some guidelines and things on the calculators and how to use them, and we'll get it to another level. It'll be great.
Wonderful.
Thanks very much,
Happy
Matt.
travelling.
Yeah, safe travels.
See you guys.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.